This face is probably looking awfully familiar, but at the same time, Shane Polwart, President and CEO of MicroTech Computer Systems and Business IT Services, he's up to big things in our community. So excited to have you back again. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Mitch. It's great to be back.
This is exciting because you're taking on providing our community with information and resources that they haven't had before in the past. Tell me what's going on.
We're starting a podcast June 1st at 9 a.m. There will be a link on our homepage, and we're going to be talking about a lot of the issues that are currently in the media regarding security violations, IT services, HIPAA, and hackers, and phishing, and all sorts of other interesting topics.
Well, this is really exciting for our community, Shane, that they have a place where they can access free information about these really important things. And you just started to mention some things that on the surface, people have heard these words before, but you're going to get into what they really mean. And you talk about hackers. This is a big deal today.
Yes.
Even people in their personal residences are at risk of hacking.
Absolutely. Nobody is without risk, but there's things that you can do to protect yourself, and that's what we want to talk about. We want to talk about these issues in a way that provides the listeners with value and a place to go to read more about it, and various other alternatives, such as a managed IT service provider.
Well, and that's ultimately, where this will cause people to understand their risks that they're taking every day right now that they're completely unaware of. And you mentioned phishing. There's phishing software out there, malware or viruses that people can get on the internet. There are all sorts of things that people can dump into your cache memory. And these are things that you manage when you manage a business's IT services for them, their security, their safety. But these are really big issues. I mean, there's so many. You can open up the newspaper or the internet every day of the week, and there's another discussion about a hacker that got into some big system and was able to get into their data. And when there's Privacy Act violations, there's HIPAA violations. Many of our audience members right now have received a letter in the mail when one of their one of the organizations that they support that had their information has been violated, and they get a letter about it. But what does that really mean to them? And how do they protect themselves day to day in this world, in this environment?
Exactly. That's what we want to talk about. There's a lot of false information out there. There's a lot of opinion out there. We want to get down to the actual facts and how it affects users and businesses, and how they can protect themselves.
And what excites me is this is going to be free to the community. They can come in every Wednesday morning starting June 1st at 9 a.m. They can go to your website, log on to your podcast for free. I mean, this is a service you're providing our community. Why are you doing that?
Because it needs to be done, and there's nobody else out there doing it. Like you said, you can go online and you can see article after article after article. Do you really know what to believe? We want to coalesce the data that's out there into something that is actually concise, poignant, and relevant. So people don't have to spend hours searching aimlessly for the answers to their questions.
I think this is really more important than people are going to understand at the very moment that they hear about this, and why I'm hoping that our entire community will tune into your podcast to start to get an idea of what you're really providing here. But when you talk about breaches to people's personal and or business data, I mean, you're talking about potential litigation. Many of our small business owners in Northern Nevada are sole proprietors, meaning that all of their personal wealth, their house, their cars, their bank accounts are all at risk should they be sued for not having protected their clients from these risks.
And on top of the civil action, there's also legal ramifications in terms of government regulatory commission coming in for HIPAA violations. There's massive fines, could completely knock somebody out of business.
Even large corporations that don't have compliant information technology services systems in place can wind up in litigation that can even exceed their insurance policy face value and take businesses down. And this is what we want to prevent, I guess, is why you're doing this podcast.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, that the saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. It's really true in this scenario. It doesn't take that much to set up a protection for your business or your personal assets. And it just takes doing it and knowing what to do and how to do it. And of course, technology changes all the time. We keep up with technology. That's another aspect of it. We want to share that with the community.
So tell us what people can expect on this podcast. Obviously, you're going to educate them on some of the lingo, industry language that you're going to break down into lay terms for them. When you talk about phishing and malware, you're going to actually help them understand even what that is. But what other services can they count on receiving on this podcast?
We like to talk about where the future's going with technology, cloud services. You know, cloud's a big buzzword out there right now. And see, for a lot of the customers I've talked to, when I say cloud, they immediately, their eyes glaze over, they get scared, a wall comes up. And when I explain to them, when I say cloud, I really mean internet. And you've been on the internet for 20 years. There's really nothing to be afraid of when it comes to the cloud. Well, it's all a matter of operational security, doing the right things to keep yourself protected.
And I think that's really interesting because you bring up a subject right there that many people, you say their eyes glaze over because it's new technology. They have doubts, lack of trust in, they don't understand, and therefore the eyes glaze over. And you're going to take that on your podcast. Really, Shane, on behalf of our community, I want to thank you for being even willing to do this, providing this information for free for our community because you care about our community. I hope everybody tunes in, whether you're a small business, a large business, or an individual. I hope you'll tune in every Wednesday at 9 a.m. to MicroTech Computer Systems and Business IT Services podcast. That link will be on their website, which is microtechreno.com. If they want to call you and get information about this or to ask you questions about information and technology services, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, you can call us at 775-351-2211 or email us at service@microtechreno.com.
That's Shane Paulwart, President and CEO of MicroTech Computer Systems, Business IT Services. Always great to have you on our show.
Thanks, Mitch.
Thank you.